I highly recommend that you do it where you have your actual job that you're getting paid and work on your business on the side. Don't ever quit your job to start your business unless you have a huge savings or you have someone there to back you up. Welcome back to the Creative on the Grind podcast. It's your girl, Deandra, and I'm back with another episode. So in today's episode, I'm excited about talking about this because I feel like it's something that most budding entrepreneurs want to accomplish, and that is leaving their 9-to-5 to fulfill their dreams in entrepreneurship. I'm going to be talking about my journey a little bit so you guys can get some insights on that, along with some strategies where we'll talk about transitioning, balancing your 9-to-5 with your side hustle, and planning. Like, that's a huge thing that we need to discuss, is planning your exit. So there's so much that we're going to discuss in this episode, and I'm really excited. So sit back and let's get into it. So first, let's tap into balancing your 9-to-5 with your side hustle. When I first started out on my entrepreneur journey, I was actually for an interior design firm, and I was the HR manager and basically a personal assistant. So I had a lot on my plate at that job, but I also wanted to pursue my side hustle business, which is event planning and design. So I was trying to balance both of them, and it worked for a while, but it was overwhelming, and it did trickle into my work. When it comes to balancing both, you're going to have to really learn how to balance your time. So I knew that I worked from 9-to-5. It was going to take me an hour to get home, and I'll be home by 6. And from 6 to about 9 or 10, I was working on my business. And it hindered a lot of my relationships. It did a lot of good, but also a lot of bad. But it was all a balancing thing because I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I wanted something more for myself. So I just went for it. And when you are deciding to start a side hustle, when you do have a full-time job, you have to really be committed to the process because it's not easy and it's not for the weak. And I'm not just saying that to say that, but it's serious business if you really want the business to go somewhere. If you just want this as a little side hobby, then there's really not much that you have to really worry about, because if you make money, you're happy if you're not. But for me, I knew that this is something that I wanted to pursue full time. Within balancing my side hustle and my full-time job, once it became overwhelming, I think that's when it trickled into my boss noticing, and that's how I ended up getting laid off. Everything happened for a reason, and I got laid off for a reason so that I could pursue my dreams full time and do what I had to do. But I do not wish that transition on anyone. When you decide to take this route, just know that you will have to work nights. You will have to work weekends. You will have to make a lot of sacrifices, like not going out with your friends all the time, not doing the things that you want to do, not being able to spend time with your family at times. And it does suck in a way, but you're building your legacy. You're building your greater purpose. So it's only for a moment in time. For me, once I got laid off, I saw this as an opportunity to take my life, my path into my own hands as much as I can, obviously, letting God and the universe do their thing with me and co-create this business that I wanted. Once I started and start building that momentum, I feel like everything just start falling into place. I needed a logo, and then somehow my boyfriend at the time, he knew someone who was doing graphic design, and then we worked together. So everything was just falling into place. And then I knew planners, and I told them that I was starting a balloon business, and then they started giving me work, and it just started to do its thing because I was fully in it, and I could fully focus on that business alone. I didn't have to worry about my 9-to-5. But when you are transitioning, it's a transitioning period. I highly recommend that you do it where you have your actual job that you're getting paid and work on your business on the side. Don't ever quit your job to start your business unless you have a huge savings or you have someone there to back you up, because especially in this economy, it's going to be very hard to do this transition. As you see your business grow, you can possibly lessen your hours with work. As you start making money with work, you can start pouring that into your business if you want. It's a balancing act that you have to learn how to do. And I think that's why entrepreneurship is so hard, is because there's no pamphlet, there's no guidebook or anything. It's all trial and error and experience. And for me, everything I did was just experience. I made so many mistakes through my transition, and I'm blessed to say that I did make those mistakes, because now I can share them with you guys and pray that you guys don't make the same mistakes, but you're going to make your own mistakes. So we cannot avoid making mistakes. So when you are starting your transitional period, make sure that you schedule everything that you can. I would say, again, focus on your work at work during the day, and focus on your business at night and on the weekends. And it's so important to create focus hours. So just because you get home at 6 doesn't mean you have to work from 6 to 10. You can do 2 hours of focused work every day. You don't have to use your whole night to work on your business. This is where strategy comes in, and learning how to plan your own task. At work, you have your task. You know what you have to do every day. You come in and you do your job. But when you're creating a business, when you're creating a job for yourself, you're going to have to delegate those tasks to yourself and to others as your business starts to grow. When you're first starting out in this transition, figure out everything that you need to do in that week, in that month, and then write it down as tasks, so you know exactly what it is that you have to do. And when you get home, you work on those things, instead of getting home and you're scatterbrained. Oh, what do I need to work on today? I'm not sure. No, have a plan. Get a calendar book that has it all laid out, so you can plan out your weeks, plan out your months, even plan out your quarters if you would like, whatever feels comfortable for you, so that you can get the business done. Okay. Because you not knowing what you're doing will not help you elevate throughout your transition, and you want it to be seamless, right? I would highly recommend investing in a mentor or program or course or something that can help you with different areas, because when you are starting your business, you need help with marketing, business strategy, branding, all of those things. So learning those things throughout your journey is very helpful as well. I would say have 2 educational days where you actually learn how to do tasks and how to be an entrepreneur. I wish I would have done these things, but at the time, all I had was Google. And the resources that we have today were not available to me 10 years ago. So I had to literally figure everything out. But I did it without all of those resources, but it took me way longer. So now that you do have resources at your disposal, especially on my website, I have all types of workbooks. I have all types of freebies that you can download to help you start elevating your process. There's so much at your disposal that it should expedite the process so much faster. And with all of that, just knowing that everything happens for a reason. If something doesn't land or something goes wrong, it's happening for a reason. So just take it for what it is, because it's all a learning process, and it's going to be a learning curve for you for sure. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for anyone. It's going to be a learning curve. So now we're going to go into the financial realities of entrepreneurship. I feel like this is where everyone gets hicked up, is the finances. Like, how am I supposed to run this business without any funds, or how am I supposed to make this work? That's why I enforced in the beginning the importance of keeping your day job and working on your business on your own time. When you have a steady paycheck, that actually makes the process a little bit more calm and not as stressful, because you have a steady paycheck and you are making your side money on the side until it grows into the amount that you can actually live off your business. That's how you balance everything. And it's so important that you start building a financial cushion before you take your leap. And you can set up a schedule for yourself. You can say, in a year, I'm going to quit my job. So every month I'm going to save $500, or every month I'm going to save $1,000, so that at the end of the year I have X amount of dollars to live off of for X amount of time. In this economy, you're going to probably need more than that, But I know that some people aren't comfortable like with finances. I feel like that's just an uncomfortable area for a lot of people. And especially when you are trying to create a business and sustain your living and your lifestyle, it can be a lot. So just know that it's all a process, and there's going to be some highs and then there's going to be some lows, but you're going to get through it with the right strategies and learning how to allocate your time properly so that it's a seamless process. I wish I had a more seamless process instead of just getting pushed off the cliff and having to figure it out, which was my choice. I could have gotten another job right away, but I told myself in that moment, I was like, no, I don't want to work for anyone ever again. Like, I got laid off for a reason. Like, everything happens for a reason. And thankfully, my boss, he actually gave me unemployment. So I had about 6 to 8 months to figure some stuff out too. Like, it was a blessing in disguise for me. And I say now that he did that, I'm so thankful for him. Like, at the time, I didn't really understand, but low-key, I was happy that I got laid off. But still, I didn't understand what was going on in that moment. But now looking back, I'm like, wow, that was like a big blessing, because I don't think I would have done it on my own. So him like laying me off was that extra push that I needed to pursue my dreams. Now I want to dive into embracing the process and delayed gratification. Now, this is a big topic because patience and persistence is crucial for success. And I know that we want to start this business and we just want to start making lots of money tomorrow and we want people to just be buying from us. But the reality is that it's not that at all. You have to build a brand. You have to build a name for yourself. Marketing, you have to put yourself out there and not be scared to put yourself out. There's a lot of components that come into this transition from 9 to 5 to full-time entrepreneur. And I feel that also with like Instagram and everything, people are like glorifying like entrepreneurship like it's just this like beautiful journey. Like, I launched this digital product, or I launched this and I got $100,000 in 24 hours. Okay, there's some businesses that could do that, but let's be realistic. It's not everyone. And I feel like it puts so much pressure on everyone that they think like, I started my business 3 months ago and I'm not generating any revenue. I'm a failure. Like, this sucks. I'm going to give up. And it's no, you need more time than that. Most businesses need up to 2 to 3 years to actually start really generating the revenue so that they could leave their full-time jobs. So it takes time. And it also depends on the type of business that you start. See, for me, when I started my business, I started a business that no one was really doing at the time. I found that little nook and cranny in my market and I went hard in the paint. And at the time, there was really nothing to compare my work to. People just saw what I did and thought it was just like the holy grail of balloons. And that's why I was so busy and I was able to generate so much revenue in such a short amount of time. Like, I was making 6 figures within the first year of me working. Like, it was insane because of all the inquiries and publicity I was getting and the influencers I was working with and the brands I was working with. It happened so fast that I don't even know really what happened. I was just so thankful and I was just riding the wave. And that's a thing too. It's like when you start this business, if you're starting a business that everyone is doing, because most businesses are out there now, right? If you're starting a business that is on the market, you need to find that little nook and cranny that's going to make you stand out. Like, if you're going to create a clothing line, make it something great. Don't just go buy shirts from downtown and print a logo on them and be like, this is original. Okay? If that's the case, you could do that, but let's bring some more context to this business. What's your brand? What's your story? Give us more. What are you doing with the business? Maybe you're donating some proceeds to children in a third world country. Like, what is the story? And that's where branding comes into play. When you have a strong brand behind you, that's what can elevate your business to the next level. But I digress, because that's going to be a whole nother episode. I do want to talk about the power of branding and marketing yourself, because that's where the real strategy comes into play when you're trying to build your business. So being able to have patience is key, because everything's going to be delayed gratification. And that's why don't really pay attention to Instagram and what people are saying, because it's not like that. It's really not. It takes time. It really takes time for things to get off the ground, especially now because every market is so oversaturated. Everything. I mean, because everyone now is just showing you how to do everything, that like the gatekeeping gods that be saying like, oh, don't gatekeep. Well, the thing is, sometimes gatekeeping is actually the best way to go, because if you share everything that you do, you're just giving it to your competitors. You're not holding anything for yourself so that you can build off of that specific thing. We're like, oh, I learned how to do this little technique. Let me just share it with everyone. And then now everyone knows how to do the technique. You know, it's okay to share. It's okay to inspire people. But there's some things that I feel as business owners that you should keep sacred so that you can sustain your living, so that you can sustain your lifestyle and your business. And the faster you learn how to get out of your comfort zone and market your business and put yourself out there and go to networking events, I feel like that's what makes the process even faster, because you're actually putting content out there. You are talking to people, sharing your business, getting promotional items like business cards. And this is a side note, I feel like business cards are still awesome because you can put QR codes on them, and there's so many things that you could do with a business card. So don't sleep on business cards. But, you know, there's so many things that you could be doing while your business is growing. And I feel that people are just relying on Instagram and they're relying on TikTok to grow their business. And there's so many other avenues to get your business out there, so that it could be a faster process, and then things aren't as delayed as you would think because you're putting in the work. And I feel that now, honestly, a lot of people just don't want to put in the work. They just want it to come to them. And if it doesn't come hard and fast, they just want to give up. And it's no, I want you to thrive. But it's going to take some time. But you have to also be willing to put in the work and being consistent and creating a schedule for yourself to post, to promote, and stop hiding behind your phone. Stop hiding behind the camera. I know what I should be posting. I know what I should be doing, but I'm just scared to put my face out there. I'm scared that people are going to judge me. It comes with the territory, because honestly, entrepreneurship, it's not for everyone. So those people who are judging you, who cares? Let them judge you, because at the end of the day, they're just sitting on the phone swiping away their lives while you're over here building a legacy for yourself. While you're out here doing something that's greater than you would have ever known. There will be so much more fulfillment and purpose in your life when you decide to get out your comfort zone and put yourself out there. It's a game changer. Like the day I decided to start my business, I had all types of people saying, are you sure you want to do this? Like, how are you going to live? How are you going to be working on a business with no job? This is not making sense. You need to get a job and work on telling me everything no, I just didn't listen to anyone. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do me. So let me do me. And I did me, and look what happened. I created a bomb business, and I'm blessed. So if I could do it, you could do it. Just stop listening to the naysayers and people around you. You have to really rely and trust in yourself, trust in your gut, and trust in your heart. Whatever you're doing, it's going to be great. And when you do get that first client and you land that first deal, celebrate it, because it just shows that you have gratitude and you're so thankful for what's about to come. When you celebrate the joy and the successes in that small moment, you're telling God, you're telling the universe, whatever you believe in, that you want to attract more of that into your life, and that you are deserving of more business. You're deserving of your business to grow and thrive, and you are deserving of being a success. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is planning strategies. And I feel like this is the most important part, because you need a plan in order to get this right. I would say create a 6-month plan of how you want to plan your exit. And this doesn't mean that you have to necessarily leave your job in 6 months. It's just something so that you can get the ball rolling. A 6-month plan can be exactly the steps that you're going to take to generate a specific amount of revenue within your business. And like I said, it does take time, especially in this economy. So if you need to maybe plan out a 2-year plan, do that. Whatever you feel comfortable with, but make sure you have a plan of detailed steps of things that you're going to do every month to make your business grow. If you are scared of being in front of the camera, if you are scared of creating content or fearful of what people say, or you don't like your voice, maybe that first month or two, practice. Just have it down on your list that I'm going to practice being in front of the camera. I'm going to practice creating content. I'm going to practice sharing my voice with others. And that could just be a practice phase. And then putting yourself out there again. Okay, I'm going to actually post. It could be baby steps, but as long as you're making like progress towards your goal, I feel like once you do get that first bit of content out and put yourself in front of the camera, you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And you just want to keep doing it over and over. You will have those like moments of imposter syndrome. It's going to come up. I still get it. Even when I get on the camera here, I still sometimes get it. But I do know what I'm talking about. I do have the experience. So I have to stay confident in that. So whatever business that you're doing, if you're a baker, painter, whatever it is, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. So show up and be confident in your abilities. Because that's the only way you're going to get people to trust you and want to buy from you. And if you're just learning, that's okay. Like, it's okay to have an educational phase. And I would say that's the smartest thing to do is if you do have this 6-month plan, your first 2 to 3 months can be all educational based, where you're studying courses. It could be where you're building your brand. It could be have a mentor, join a community where you have like-minded individuals who can help you progress and motivate you. Whatever route you choose, it's up to you. And just pick a route and create a plan. That's all I'm saying. It's at the end of the day, create a plan. As we're ending this episode, like I said earlier, a lot of the markets are very much so saturated. So it's up to you to come out with a bomb business idea that stands out and shines. And I feel like what's happening now is that people are actually buying into the people behind the brand. So they want to see who's behind the brand. They want to see how'd you come up with this idea. They want to see the process. And showing those things is great. You don't have to show too much. You don't have to show every detail, and you don't have to give away all of your secrets and recipes. But showing the process of you getting to where you're going is what makes people want to invest in businesses. Like my younger sister, actually, and she's going to probably kill me for putting her out here like this, but she just became a real estate agent. She got her license and everything. I'm so proud of her. And I told her, I was like, share your journey of becoming a real estate agent. I feel like it will inspire and motivate those who do want to possibly do that, but they're scared. They don't know where to start. And then it'll also increase your awareness with others who are like, oh my gosh, I love her story. I feel like she'll be great. I would love to purchase a house from her. So you can get both sides when you do something like that. And whatever business you decide to start, show your process. Show, like today, I'm taking classes on how to brand my business. I'm taking marketing classes. If you are a baker, I'm going to a baking class and I'm learning how to do fondant. I don't know, showing the process of that. It just makes it so much more special. And then when you actually get to where you want to be, it brings people so much joy because they feel like they did it with you and they feel like they're a part of your journey and they just want to support you and support your business and make sure that you have continuous success. So with that being said, I know this was a lot in this episode. It was a lot to process, but transitioning from 9 to 5 to a full-time entrepreneur, it's a process. It's actually a lot. But these are the things that you do need to think about and the strategies that you need to start implementing if you do want to eventually become a full-time entrepreneur and work for yourself and get to do whatever you want. Basically, you live life on your terms. And I have to say that it feels really good to do this, to live life on my own terms, but it is stressful sometimes. Like it really could be very stressful. And I want to lay that out there too. I don't want to sugarcoat things and say that it's like a glamorous life because there's some days where I do want to give up. But I know that I put so much work in and that I've done so much to be where I'm at today. So I'm not going to give up. Keep pushing through, but just being blessed and present and thankful for where I am is what keeps me grounded. So I hope that this episode has motivated you, and that is all for today. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you did enjoy this episode, make sure you share it with some of your friends and family so that they can get some insights if they're deciding on, whether or not they should start a business, or if they're in that transitional phase of going from their full-time job to becoming a full-time entrepreneur. And if you have any questions about entrepreneurship, drop them in the comments below. I respond to all of my comments, so drop it below, and I will love to hear from you and give you some feedback if needed. Make sure you follow Creative on the Grind podcast if you're not already, and leave a review, because I love to hear your feedback and making sure that I'm providing you guys with the content that you guys enjoy. And that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I'll be back next week with another video. Bye.